Shabbat shalom, everyone. Congregational past president Steve Margolin says I'm never allowed to start a Devar Torah this way, but he's not here, so I'm going to start it Dafka this way. And I would like to invite you to close your eyes. And he says I'm not allowed to do that because you might fall asleep. But we've just had Thanksgiving, we've had lots of turkey, we've had a lot of family time, so if you need to sleep a little bit, you are allowed. It's okay. But I want to invite you to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I want to invite you to think of one moment in your life when you felt God's presence. A moment in your life when you felt God's presence. And I'll let you hold on to that moment for just a few more seconds. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. We'll come back together. And because it is the Shabbat after Thanksgiving, and we are all homecoming, and we are all family here, I'll invite, if anyone is a brave enough soul, to say what that moment was in their life. Shall? The birth of your first son. Love it. Anyone else? I love it. The birth of our daughter. Love it. Anyone else? Marjorie. Very cool. Davening at the egalitarian section of the Kotel in Yerushalayim, being able to have the power to lead everyone in that moment. That's beautiful. Yeah, sure. All right, a car accident where, for all intents and purposes, you shouldn't have made it out, and here you are. Amen. Anyone else? Barbara. For your wedding day. I love it. Beautiful. Dottie? Go ahead, Dottie. Beautiful. Right at the very end of Yom Kippur and the Elah services, when the gates of righteousness are starting to close and there's the Ner Tamid. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Being with someone in their last moments of life, for sure. Let's do one more. Anyone have one more? Let's not do any more. Oh, please. Go ahead. Jay. Double rainbow over a lake. I love it. Miracles of nature. I love it. So, as we can hear and take in everyone's different perspectives about these moments where they felt God's presence in their lives, we'll do a little poll right now. If your moment was a moment of significance, something very, very big, the birth of a child, a near-death experience, something like that, raise your hand. Now, if you look around the room, you're going to see a lot of hands up. And there's a reason for this. This is how we tend to interact with the world as religious people or as religious Jews, is that we find these great moments of holiness, these great moments of spirituality in these grandiose, important, big moments in our lives, which makes sense. That's who we are as people. We're receptive to those moments. Those moments feel yotzei min haklal. They feel outside of the ordinary, and there feels like there is great significance built into them. It makes sense. But our Torah portion this week does something very radical, and it asks us to change the way that we think about those divine moments. Now, I have to explain the first bit of commentary first to get to the second part, so allow me really quickly. When Yaakov is on his journey, remember, he has just tricked his brother, he has just tricked his father, and is escaping Esau's wrath, because Esau is livid and is going to kill Jacob. And Jacob is fleeing to Rebekah's brother's house named Lavan. And as he is fleeing, he stops and he rests for the night. And what happens? We get this famous moment from the Torah where Yaakov falls asleep and he sees the sulam. He sees this ladder, this ziggurat, these staircases, however you want to imagine it. and he sees angels ascending and descending. And when he wakes up from his dream, he says, Yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh ve'anochi lo yedati. God was in this place, and I didn't know. And the traditional commentary is to say, of course God was in this place because this is a sacred space. This is the place that is known as Bethel, and it will be the temple in the northern kingdom of Israel eventually. He stumbled upon an incredibly sacred space. But the Hasidim, the Hasidic masters later come to say, and this is what I want to focus on this morning because it's a revolutionary and beautiful idea. Why was it that Yaakov merited being able to see this incredible sight? It had nothing to do with any sacred space and nothing to do with any sacred time. It's always happening. And Jacob just happened to notice, which is a very different way of looking at this, which is to say, where is the holiness? Where is God present in our lives? Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav eventually comes to teach wherever we let God in. Now, why this is such an important thing is because as religious Jews, nay, just as Jews, our job is to find God outside of those great moments of grandiosity. Those moments exist, and we have them, and thank God we have them, those incredible moments of simcha, those incredible moments of mashma'ut, of meaning, of near-death experience, whatever those might be. But we are also challenged as Jews to find God in the moments that might feel banal, mundane, that doesn't have that same level of drama and that same intensity as part of the story. That is our job. That's our goal as Jews. And Jacob's story is meant to inspire us to try to achieve that within ourselves. So one of the reasons that we come together on Shabbat mornings or weekday mornings, for Shaarey, for Mincha, for Mariv, that we come together with Jewish family to make a minyan, to come out to pray together, is to find those moments of sacredness, of holiness, but also to practice so that when we leave those sacred spaces or in those sacred times, we can still find God's presence in our lives, even when we're not expecting to. I'm going to tell one really quick story. I was at a meditation class in New York City, which is a very hard place to meditate. But we had just started our meditation, and I kid you not, within 5 minutes of starting, we're being walked through this whole meditation, our eyes are closed, we're just starting to relax, we hear a fender bender happen right outside the window. And of course, in a fender bender in New York, that's not the end of the noise. The yelling and the shouting was coming right after it. Everyone is yelling, and there's this cacophony of anger and frustration and screaming, and then everyone just kind of stops and says, how are we supposed to meditate when this is happening? And our teacher, was a great rabbi, said, this is why you meditate. This is where you seek holiness in the world. There's not going to be times when the world stops. It is dafka in the moments when it is chaotic, when people are yelling, when there is screaming, when there is noise, and the tohu vavohu, the chaos that exists within outside of our walls, those are the moments that we need to find God most. The times that we need to seek God are not going to be the times that are always the pleasant and quiet and easy and set up for us for success. But the moments that we should be finding God are the moments when we have the opportunity to do so. One of my heroes, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, had a lot of books, but he had 2 books that really mean a lot to me in my rabbinate. One is he has a book called God in Search of Man, which is an idea that God is constantly seeking us. God is waiting for us. God is looking for us at all times. But he has a sequel to that book that is called Man in Search of God, which is to say that it is not our job to just sit back and wait for it to happen, but we are supposed to be God seekers. Not just in those incredible, powerful moments, but each day of our lives we are challenged, we are inspired to go out and to seek divinity, seek holiness, seek goodness, meaning, profundity. And it's a really important reminder because as we go into December, the days start getting shorter and shorter. We're supposed to get a lot of snow tonight. it's the season. And it's easy to kind of give up on those different ways of seeing the goodness and the spirituality and the beauty and God's presence in our lives. But it is more so at this point in time than any point in time of the year where we are supposed to take those moments that might feel mundane or banal and to find the way to find divinity in them, to be God seekers. That is our challenge. That is what Yaakov is directing us to do. So I'd like to end this morning by trying to invite us to a moment where we can have that together. So I want us to sing a Niggun. And the incredibly difficult part about God seeking is that there's no guarantee we're going to get there. Someone might, all of us might, none of us might. All of that is a possibility. But it doesn't mean that we don't try to make those moments of holiness, of goodness, to try to find a time for us to connect and really focus on what that possibility can be. So if you feel comfortable, I'll invite you again to close your eyes. And I want you to sing with me. There's two parts of this Niggun, and it is appropriately called Niggun Kislev, which is the month that we are in. And there are two parts, so we'll sing the first part together, then the second part, and then we'll put them together. But it goes like this. Try that with me. Beautiful. And the second part goes like this. Try that with me. Let's put it together. Shabbat shalom, everyone. We'll continue now with our